Hi guys, girls, I hope this finds you all well. I understand we're in some sort of troubling times and you know, we all know the ins and outs of that. There was a couple of videos and stuff knocking about where you can go out and you can't go out, and this, that, and the other. And it's all bullshit. So what I'm going to do is just describe a very simple port of law that says you can do, sorry about the hair, you can do what you like when you like. So we had the problem with a gentleman the other day being arrested and charged, convicted and imprisoned for filming a hospital. Had some funny comments on that one, saying it never happened, although it's been reported in every mainstream media. But apparently it never happened. Right, listen up, right? This, regardless of the 1668 Constitution, the British Constitution, on which every other constitution, the American Constitution, the Canadian Constitution, the Australian Constitution, and New Zealand Constitution, and every other constitution around the world was based on the British Constitution of 1668. So let's get that right first and foremost. And you have the freedom to impart information. Yeah, everyone has the freedom to impart information. Let's bring it forward a little bit. So we go to the 1948 UN Convention on the freedom of opinion, and expression. Everyone. Now let's make this point clear so we don't fuck up. Everyone. The first word in Article 19 on the 1948 UN Convention on Human Rights says everyone. It doesn't say the BBC has the right. It doesn't say fucking the ITV have the right, or Channel 4 have the right, or Sky has the right, or Channel 5 has the right, or fucking whatever, Al Jazeera has the right, or RT has the right. Everyone. I'll read it all and I'll expressly get to the end of this. And this is why you've got the right to go out and do what the fuck you want when you want. And I'll explain that in a second. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek... without interference and to seek, receive and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. There's your right. And on top of that, in the UK, police swore an oath to fundamentally uphold human rights. It's part of their oath. To fundamentally uphold fundamental human rights. There's your human rights. There's the police. So I suggest everyone just goes out and does whatever they want. Just take a camera with you, a mobile phone. Do whatever you want. Because you're seeking to gather and disseminate information regardless of borders. There's nothing more fundamentally regardless of borders than the internet. Okay, so go out and do what you want, because you have every right to do so, and there's nothing in the coronavirus legislation that says you can't. It's just a series of recommendations, or you should maybe do this, maybe you should do that, maybe you should do the other. Fuck that bullshit. It's a bullshit pile of legislation dreamt up by a bullshit bunch of politicians who all signed on the dotted line. That was Labour included. Labour signed off on that. The Conservatives signed off on that. The Liberal Democrats signed off on that. And the Green Party signed off on that. And then they closed down parliaments. There was no sort of suggestion, even a remote suggestion, of having a debate about it. They just closed down Parliament and they've all fucked off home. Or to their second homes, for some of them, who think that obviously the legislation doesn't apply to them. Namely, the Scottish minister that got fired and that other prat. Look it up online. I'll try and leave a link in the description. I will leave a link to the description to the 1948 Declaration on Human Rights, Article 19. Okay, so everybody, as of tomorrow, actually as of before the lockdown even started, you already had the right to do whatever you want, whenever you want, because you've all got the right to go out and gather and disseminate information. Regardless of borders. So you've all got that right, and I suggest wholeheartedly, and you can do what you like, guys. You start your own little YouTube channels. Just do it, even if it's just for the duration of this pandemic or whatever they want to call it. Because 1 minute it's a pandemic, then it's an epidemic, then it's this, then it's. I'll guarantee you one thing: it's bollocks. So, pick up your cameras, pick up your mobile phones, take a spare battery, buy yourself a backup power bank or something like that. They're pretty cheap and inexpensive. And go out and start filming whatever you want, whenever you want. It could be a tree, it could be a fucking field full of sheep. Actually, that would be appropriate. Because then you've got every right to be outside of your house, because you've got the right to freedom to gather and disseminate information regardless of borders. And the first word in that 1948 UN Declaration on Human Rights is the most important word. It's just one word, and it's the most important word. It says everyone. Everyone. It doesn't say the BBC. It doesn't say the ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, all that bullshit. It doesn't say that. It says everyone has the freedom to hold opinions and to gather and disseminate information regardless of frontiers. So get out there, gather your information and disseminate it. Doesn't matter what you put out. You don't have to, you don't have to go out and do audits. You don't have to go out and, strap a gun on your back or fucking whatever it is. Just go out and film. That's all you've got to do. It doesn't matter what you film. You can, if you're going to film a hospital, stay on public property. That's my own advice to you guys. So if you want to go inside an A&E and film it and do this, that and the other, then you're opening yourself up. They'll use the trust part of the NHS to make out that it was private. So I'm not going to get into that now because that's really, really complicated and convoluted. So, but yeah, as long as you're staying on public property at all times, go out and film whatever you like, and they cannot stop you from doing so. And the police have sworn an oath, and I know they don't uphold their oath, as you can see in a million videos from America. When it comes to the Constitution, they don't uphold their oath. But you have the right to do it, and they, in the UK, the police have sworn an oath to uphold fundamental human rights. And there's nothing more fundamental than the freedom to gather and disseminate information, which everybody, the first word of Article 19 of the UN Convention on Human Rights 1948 specifically says the first word is everybody. everybody. Okay? So you're now free to go out and do what you like when you like. And the police can't touch it. And there's nothing in the coronavirus legislation 2020 that says you can't. Nothing in that coronavirus legislation in 2020 suspends any of your human rights. None of it. None of it. It's all regulations and recommendations. Bullshit, basically. Suggestions. You know, we suggest you don't do this. We suggest you don't do that. We suggest you, you know, separate and don't do this and don't do that. It's just suggestion. There's no law. Nothing in it is law. That's why they all signed off on that bill and fucked off out of Parliament. Because they're just running away from their own bullshit in the hope that you'll suck it up. That's what they did. They just wrote it. It's not even law. We'll come back to the coronavirus legislation because I'm going to fucking rip it a new arsehole. Alright? And it's taken me forever to fucking read that. Bearing in mind there's 88 sections, of which there are so many, you know, sub-paragraphs and subsections of this section and that section. It's taken me forever to try and read it, and I still haven't finished reading it. So when I've finished reading it, I'll bring it to you. But there's nothing so far that I've found in that it's not in that legislation. There's nothing in it that's actually law. It's just recommendation. We recommend that you stand 6 foot apart from each other. We recommend you don't leave the house unless it's absolutely necessary. Well, your freedom to gather and disseminate information is absolutely necessary, and everybody has the right to do it. So, there you go. Take your mobile phones out, grab a camera, go out and just film whatever you want to film. And make sure you're always on public property when you do go out filming. That's my only recommendation to you. Alright guys, I hope this finds everybody well, safe, and always film the police and other public numpties. I hope this finds you all well. Stay safe guys.